"Let me make this clear," the stepmother announced at the reading. "These two get nothing. Their father told me everything goes to me." The twins sat quietly, holding hands. The lawyer opened the envelope. "Actually, Mrs. Patterson, there's a second will. Your husband updated it a week before he passed." Her smile faded. "The twins receive 90% of the estate. You receive the house, but only if you treat them with kindness. Based on the recording from 5 minutes ago, that condition has already been violated. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Stay quiet. She might still be asleep." Marcus whispered the words outside Maya's bedroom door at 6 o'clock in the morning. The hallway was dark. The house was silent. Maya opened her door carefully, making sure it did not creak. She nodded at her brother. They moved down the stairs together, stepping only on the edges where the wood did not make noise. They had learned which steps were safe and which ones would wake Linda. In the kitchen, Marcus grabbed 2 granola bars from the cabinet. Maya filled 2 water bottles from the sink. They did not turn on any lights. They did not make coffee or toast. They just needed to get out of the house before their stepmother came downstairs. They reached the front door. Marcus turned the lock slowly. Maya pulled the door open inch by inch. Cold Chicago air hit their faces. It was early May, 2 weeks before their high school graduation, but the mornings were still cold. They stepped outside and closed the door behind them with a soft click. "Made it," Maya said quietly. "Another day," Marcus replied. They walked together down the street in Lincoln Park. Big houses lined both sides. Trees were starting to grow green leaves. A few other people were outside, walking dogs or jogging. Marcus and Maya walked fast toward the L train station 6 blocks away. They shared one pair of white earbuds, each taking one side. Marcus scrolled through his phone and picked a song. They did not talk. They did not need to. They had been doing this same routine every school day for 5 years. The train arrived 8 minutes later. They found 2 seats together near the back. The car was half full of people going to work or school. Marcus pulled out his English homework. Maya touched the silver necklace she always wore. It had belonged to their mother, Angela. She died from cancer 8 years ago when the twins were only 10 years old. Maya touched the necklace whenever she felt nervous or sad. She touched it a lot. At Lincoln Park High School, Marcus and Maya separated to go to their different classes. Marcus walked into his English class at 7:45. His teacher, Mrs. Alvarez, was writing on the board. She smiled when she saw him. "Good morning, Marcus," she said. "Good morning, Mrs. Alvarez," Marcus replied. He sat in his usual seat by the window. Mrs. Alvarez walked over and placed his essay on his desk. There was a big red A+ at the top. Below it, she had written a note. "You have a gift for writing. Have you thought about majoring in English?" Marcus read the note but did not respond. He folded the essay and put it in his backpack. He was good at writing, but he did not talk about it. He did not talk about most things. In another part of the building, Maya sat alone in the library during lunch period. She had a sandwich in her bag but was not hungry. She was reading a book of poems by Maya Angelou. Her mother had given her this book when she was 9 years old, 1 year before she died. The pages were worn and soft. Some of Maya's favorite lines were underlined in pencil. A girl from her history class walked by and waved. Maya waved back but did not invite her to sit down. She had learned not to make close friends. Friends asked questions. Friends wanted to come to your house. Friends noticed when something was wrong. It was easier to be alone. After school, Marcus changed into his track uniform in the boys' locker room. He ran with the track team every day. Today they were doing distance training. Marcus was good at long distances. He could run for miles without stopping. When he ran, his mind went quiet. He did not think about Linda or the house or anything else. He just focused on breathing and moving forward. He ran 8 laps around the outdoor track. His lungs burned, his legs ached, but he kept going. Coach Williams blew the whistle to signal the end of practice. "Good work today, Patterson," Coach Williams called out. Marcus nodded and walked to the locker room to change back into his regular clothes. Maya took the bus south after school to the community center in South Chicago. She volunteered there 3 times a week helping younger kids with homework. Today she was working with a girl named Destiny who was 10 years old, the same age Maya was when her mother died. "I don't understand fractions," Destiny said, looking frustrated at her math worksheet. "That's okay," Maya said gently. "Let me show you a way to think about it." Maya drew pictures on a piece of scrap paper. She broke down each problem into smaller steps. Destiny started to understand. Her face relaxed. She smiled. "You're a good teacher, Miss Maya," Destiny said. Maya felt warm inside. This was the first time she smiled today. Helping these kids made her feel useful. It made the pain in her own life feel smaller. At 5 o'clock, Marcus and Maya met at the Harold Washington Library on Michigan Avenue downtown. This was their meeting spot every day. They sat together at a table on the 3rd floor and did their homework. Maya worked on history. Marcus studied for a calculus test. They sat in comfortable silence for almost 2 hours. At 7 o'clock, they packed up their books and took the train back to Lincoln Park. They walked slowly from the station to their house. Neither of them wanted to go inside. "Maybe she'll be in her room," Maya said hopefully. "Maybe," Marcus said, but he did not believe it. They opened the front door. The smell of cooking food filled the house. They heard movement in the kitchen. "Marcus? Maya? Is that you?" Linda's voice called out. It was sweet and warm. The twins looked at each other. Linda only used that voice when their father was home. They walked into the dining room. Robert Patterson sat at the head of the table. He was wearing his work suit with the tie loosened. He looked tired. Linda was setting plates of food on the table. She was smiling. "There you are," Linda said brightly. "I made chicken and rice for dinner. Come sit down." Marcus and Maya sat across from each other. Linda sat next to Robert and touched his hand. "How was school today?" Linda asked, looking at the twins with fake interest. "Fine," Marcus said. "Good," Maya said. Robert rubbed his forehead. He did this when he was stressed. "Long day at work, Dad?" Marcus asked. "Very long," Robert said. "I have a big meeting downtown tomorrow. Important investors." "You work too hard, honey," Linda said, squeezing Robert's hand. They ate dinner mostly in silence. Linda kept smiling. She asked Maya about her grades. She complimented Marcus on making the track team. She was performing. The twins ate quickly, barely tasting the food. After dinner, Robert stood up from the table. "I need to review some documents in my office," he said. "Big meeting tomorrow." He hugged Maya and then Marcus. The hugs lasted longer than usual. Robert held them tight. "I love you both," he said. "You know that, right?" "We know, Dad," Maya said. "Love you too," Marcus added. Robert went down the hall to his home office and closed the door. The moment he was gone, Linda's smile disappeared. Her face became cold. She looked at Maya. "Clear the table," Linda said in a flat voice, "and do not leave water spots on the dishes this time." Maya stood up and started gathering plates. Marcus stood up to help her. "I did not tell you to help," Linda said to Marcus. "Go to your room." Marcus ignored her and carried dishes to the kitchen anyway. Linda made a disgusted sound and walked upstairs to the master bedroom. Her footsteps were heavy on the stairs. In the kitchen, Maya washed dishes while Marcus dried them. They did not talk about what just happened. They had stopped talking about Linda's behavior years ago. There was nothing new to say. At 9 o'clock, they both went upstairs to their bedrooms. Marcus heard Maya's door close across the hall. He changed into pajama pants and a t-shirt. He lay on his bed with his phone but did not really look at it. Then he heard voices. They were coming through the walls from the master bedroom at the end of the hall. His father's voice was raised. Marcus could not hear the exact words, but the tone was angry. Robert never yelled. Marcus had not heard his father raise his voice in years. Marcus got out of bed and opened his door quietly. Maya was already standing in her doorway across the hall. She looked scared. "Are they fighting?" Maya whispered. "I think so," Marcus whispered back. They stood in their doorways listening. Linda's voice joined in, also loud. The argument continued for several minutes. Then everything went quiet. Marcus and Maya looked at each other in the dim hallway light. Something was different. Something was changing. They did not know what it meant, but after 5 years of terrible silence, their father was finally angry at Linda. Marcus went back into his room but did not close the door all the way. Maya did the same. Both twins lay awake in their beds for a long time, wondering what would happen next. The next morning, Marcus woke up before his alarm. The house was too quiet. Usually he could hear Linda moving around downstairs by 6:30 in the morning. Today there was nothing. He got out of bed and opened his door. Maya was already in the hallway wearing jeans and a sweater. Her eyes were red like she had not slept well. "Did you hear anything else last night?" Maya whispered. "No. It got quiet after the argument," Marcus said. "Linda's not up yet." "Dad already left. I heard the garage door open at 5, Maya said. Marcus checked his phone. It was 6:45 in the morning. Their father had left early for his important meeting downtown, the meeting with investors he mentioned at dinner. "We should go," Marcus said. They went downstairs together. The kitchen was empty, no coffee brewing, no sounds from upstairs. Linda's bedroom door was closed. The twins grabbed granola bars and left the house without seeing their stepmother. On the train to school, Maya kept touching her mother's necklace. "Something feels wrong today," Maya said quietly. "Dad just has a big meeting. He's probably stressed," Marcus replied. But Marcus felt it too, a heavy feeling in his chest that would not go away. At Lincoln Park High School, Marcus sat in his calculus class staring at the equations on the board. He copied them into his notebook but did not understand anything. His mind was somewhere else. The argument last night kept playing in his head. His father's angry voice. The long silence after. In the library during lunch, Maya could not focus on her book. She read the same poem 3 times and still did not absorb the words. She texted Marcus. "Something feels wrong today." Marcus texted back quickly. "Dad will be fine. He just had a meeting." Maya wanted to believe him. She put her phone away and tried to eat her sandwich. She managed 3 bites before giving up. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Marcus was in calculus class when someone knocked on the door. Mrs. Chen, the principal's secretary, opened it and spoke quietly to the teacher. The teacher nodded and looked at Marcus. "Marcus, you need to go to the principal's office," the teacher said gently. Every student in the class turned to look at Marcus. His stomach dropped. He stood up and grabbed his backpack. His hands were shaking. Mrs. Chen waited for him in the hallway. "Am I in trouble?" Marcus asked. "No, honey, just come with me," Mrs. Chen said. Her voice was too soft, too careful. They walked down the empty hallway. Marcus saw Maya standing outside the principal's office. She was crying. When she saw Marcus, she ran to him. He caught her and held her. "What's wrong? What happened?" Marcus asked. But he already knew something terrible had happened. "I don't know. They just pulled me out of history class," Maya said through tears. Mrs. Chen opened the principal's office door. "Come inside, both of you." They walked into the office holding hands. Principal Davis sat behind her desk looking sad. Standing next to her was Mr. David Johnson. He was their father's lawyer. Marcus had met him a few times at family events. Mr. Johnson was in his 60s with gray hair and kind brown eyes. Today those eyes looked heavy with bad news. "Please sit down," Mr. Johnson said gently. Marcus and Maya sat in 2 chairs facing the desk. They kept holding hands. Maya was squeezing so tight it hurt. "I need to tell you something very difficult," Mr. Johnson began. He paused and took a breath. "Your father had a meeting this morning at his office downtown. At approximately 11:30, he suffered a massive heart attack." Maya made a sound like she could not breathe. Marcus felt the room spinning. Paramedics arrived within 5 minutes. They transported him to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, Mr. Johnson continued. His voice was steady but sad. I am very sorry to tell you that your father did not survive. He passed away at 12:15 this afternoon. Maya started sobbing. Marcus could not move, could not speak, could not think. The words made no sense. His father was 52 years old. He was healthy. He was at a meeting. He was supposed to come home tonight. Principal Davis came around the desk with a box of tissues. She put her hand on Maya's shoulder. I am so sorry, Principal Davis said. Mr. Johnson knelt down in front of their chairs so he was at eye level with them. I know this is a terrible shock, Mr. Johnson said. I am going to drive you home now. Your stepmother is there. We will help you through this. Marcus found his voice. It came out broken and strange. Are you sure? Are you sure it was him? I am sure, son. I am very sure. I am so sorry, Mr. Johnson said. Maya could not stop crying. Marcus put his arm around her. He was not crying yet. He felt numb, like his body and his mind had separated. Principal Davis brought them water in paper cups. Marcus held his but did not drink. Mr. Johnson gave them a few minutes. Then he said they needed to go. The three of them walked out of the school to the parking lot. Mr. Johnson drove a black car. Marcus and Maya got in the back seat together. As Mr. Johnson drove through Chicago toward Lincoln Park, Marcus stared out the window. He saw people walking on sidewalks. Cars stopped at red lights. A woman laughing on her phone. The whole world was continuing like normal. But nothing was normal. His father was dead. Maya leaned against Marcus's shoulder and cried quietly. Marcus put his arm around her and held her tight. He still had not cried. The tears felt stuck somewhere deep inside him. 20 minutes later, they pulled up in front of the Lincoln Park house. Mr. Johnson turned off the car. Your stepmother is inside. She has been making arrangements, Mr. Johnson said. Are you ready? Marcus nodded. Maya wiped her face with her hands. They got out of the car and walked to the front door. Mr. Johnson opened it with a key Robert had given him years ago. Linda was sitting in the living room on the couch. She was wearing all black. Her makeup was perfect. Her hair was styled. She was talking on her phone. Yes, I need to schedule a time to view caskets. Tomorrow, if possible, Linda was saying into the phone. She looked up and saw the twins. She ended the call. Oh, you are home, Linda said. She stood up and walked over to them. This is such a tragedy, such a terrible shock. She hugged Maya first, then Marcus. Her hugs felt stiff and cold, but in front of Mr. Johnson, she looked like a grieving wife comforting her stepchildren. We will get through this together, Linda said, looking at Mr. Johnson. They are my children too. We are a family. Mr. Johnson nodded. He spent the next hour at the house. He made phone calls. He talked about funeral arrangements and legal matters. He spoke in a low, calm voice. Marcus and Maya sat on the couch and listened without really hearing. Finally, Mr. Johnson said he needed to go back to his office. He gave the twins his business card. Call me anytime, day or night. I am here to help you, Mr. Johnson said. After he left, the house became very quiet. Linda stood in the middle of the living room checking her phone. She did not look at Marcus or Maya. I have more calls to make. Do not disturb me, Linda said. She walked upstairs to the master bedroom and closed the door. Marcus and Maya sat on the couch in silence. The house felt wrong without their father. Everything felt wrong. He's really gone, Maya whispered. I know, Marcus said. We're orphans now. We don't have anyone, Maya said. Fresh tears ran down her face. We have each other, Marcus said, but his voice was empty. They sat together as the afternoon turned to evening. Neither of them could eat. Neither of them could think about homework or school or anything normal. They went up to Maya's room and sat on her bed. Maya got out an old photo album. They looked at pictures of their father when he was young, pictures of him with their mother, Angela. pictures of the four of them before cancer took her away. "He was a good dad when Mom was alive," Maya said, touching a photo. "He was different after she died." "He was trying his best," Marcus said. "He married Linda. He let her hurt us. That was not his best," Maya said. There was anger in her voice mixed with sadness. Marcus did not know what to say. Maya was right. Their father had failed to protect them, but he was dead now. They could not be angry at a dead person. They fell asleep in Maya's room together with the photo album between them. When Marcus woke up in the middle of the night, Maya was curled up next to him, crying in her sleep. He stayed awake, listening to her cry, wondering what would happen to them now. Through the walls, he heard nothing from Linda's room. No crying, no sounds of grief, just silence. Marcus realized with a cold, sick feeling that Linda was probably happy their father was gone. She would inherit everything. She would finally be rid of Marcus and Maya. The argument last night meant nothing now. Whatever their father was starting to see about Linda's true nature did not matter anymore. He was gone, and they were alone with her. 4 days later, Marcus stood in front of his bedroom mirror trying to tie a black necktie. His hands kept shaking. He could not remember how to make the knot work. He tried 3 times and failed. There was a soft knock on his door. Maya opened it and came inside. She was wearing a simple black dress. Her eyes were swollen from days of crying. "Let me help," Maya said quietly. She took the tie from Marcus's hands and tied it for him. Her hands were steadier than his. When she finished, she stepped back and looked at him. "You look like Dad," Maya said. Her voice broke. Marcus nodded but could not speak. If he spoke, he would start crying. He had not cried yet. The tears felt locked inside him. They heard footsteps in the hallway. Linda walked past Marcus's open door. She was wearing an expensive black dress that Marcus had never seen before. She must have bought it in the last few days. Diamond earrings hung from her ears. Her hair and makeup were perfect. She looked like she was going to a fancy party, not a funeral. Linda did not look into Marcus's room. She walked straight downstairs. "I hate her," Maya whispered. "I know," Marcus said. At 9 o'clock in the morning, a black funeral car arrived at the house. The driver was a man in a dark suit who spoke in a quiet, respectful voice. Marcus, Maya, and Linda got into the back seat. Linda sat between the twins. She dabbed at her eyes with a lace handkerchief even though there were no tears. The car drove south through Chicago to Bronzeville. This was the neighborhood where Robert grew up. The church was large and old with stone walls and tall windows. When they arrived, there were already many cars in the parking lot. Inside, the church was full of people. Marcus had not realized his father knew so many people. Business associates, old friends, people from the neighborhood, employees from his restaurants. They all came to pay their respects. At the front of the church sat a dark wooden casket covered in white flowers. Marcus stopped walking when he saw it. His father was inside that box. His father who hugged him 4 nights ago. His father who said he loved him. His father was dead inside that box. Maya took his hand and pulled him gently forward. They sat in the front row. Linda sat between them. She put one hand on Marcus's knee and one hand on Maya's knee. To everyone watching, she looked like a loving stepmother comforting her children. The service began. A pastor stood at the front and talked about Robert Patterson's life. He talked about how Robert grew up poor in Bronzeville and worked his way through college. He talked about how Robert built a successful business from nothing. He talked about how Robert loved his wife Angela and how he raised his children after she died. Robert Patterson was a man who believed in hard work, family, and giving back to his community, the pastor said. He loved his children Marcus and Maya more than anything in this world. Maya started crying. Marcus put his arm around her. Linda dabbed at her eyes with her handkerchief and made small crying sounds. But when Marcus looked at her face, there were still no real tears. After the pastor finished, several people came to the front to share memories of Robert. His business partner spoke about Robert's intelligence and integrity. An old friend from college spoke about Robert's sense of humor. A woman who worked at one of his restaurants spoke about how Robert helped pay for her son's medical bills when the family could not afford them. Marcus listened to these stories and realized he did not know his father as well as he thought. His father had a whole life outside their house. He helped people. He made people laugh. He was respected and loved. When the service ended, people formed a long line to hug Marcus and Maya and offer condolences. An older black man with gray hair shook Marcus's hand. "Your father was very proud of you," the man said. "He told everyone you were the smartest kid he ever met." Marcus felt tears finally coming. He excused himself and walked quickly to the church bathroom. Inside, he locked himself in a stall and cried. He cried for several minutes, his whole body shaking. When he finally stopped, he washed his face and went back outside. The funeral procession went to the cemetery. Marcus and Maya stood by the grave as their father's casket was lowered into the ground. Maya held onto Marcus so tightly he could barely breathe. Linda stood slightly apart from them, looking elegant and sad. After the burial, everyone was invited to the Lincoln Park house for a reception. By the time Marcus and Maya arrived home, the house was already filling with people. Neighbors and friends brought food. There were trays of sandwiches, casseroles, fruit, and desserts covering every surface in the kitchen and dining room. Linda moved through the crowd, accepting hugs and sympathy. She told people how much she loved Robert. She said they had a beautiful marriage. She introduced Marcus and Maya as my children to people who did not know the family. An older woman approached Maya in the hallway. She had kind eyes and silver hair. "I knew your mother, Angela," the woman said. "We went to church together before she got sick." "Really?" Maya said. She hardly remembered anyone from that time. "She was a beautiful person inside and out," the woman said. "She would be so proud of who you have become." Maya started crying again. The woman hugged her. Linda appeared beside them quickly. She put her arm around Maya's shoulders and smiled at the woman. "Thank you so much for coming," Linda said sweetly. "I need my daughter with me right now. We need to stay together as a family." She pulled Maya away before the woman could say anything else. Once they were in a quiet corner, Linda's grip on Maya's shoulder became painful. "Stop crying so much," Linda hissed in Maya's ear. "You are embarrassing me in front of all these people." Maya pulled away and went upstairs to her room. She locked the door and lay on her bed. She could hear people talking and laughing downstairs. How could anyone laugh today? In another room, Marcus was talking to his father's business partner, a man named Mr. Chen. "Your father mentioned you want to study business," Mr. Chen said. "Yes, sir. I got accepted to Northwestern," Marcus said. "Robert talked about that. He was very excited," Mr. Chen said. "He said you and your sister were going to do great things." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "He said that?" "All the time. Every time I saw him, he bragged about his kids," Mr. Chen said. Marcus had to walk away. He went to the kitchen and stood by the sink. He gripped the edge of the counter and tried to breathe normally. His father had been proud of him. His father had bragged about him to other people. Why had his father never told him directly? By 6 o'clock in the evening, the last guests finally left. The house was a mess. Paper plates and cups were everywhere. Leftover food covered the tables. Linda immediately went upstairs to the master bedroom without saying a word to Marcus or Maya. The twins started cleaning up. They threw away trash. They put food in containers and stored it in the refrigerator. They folded chairs and wiped down tables. They worked in silence. Their bodies moved automatically while their minds were somewhere else. At 8 o'clock, they finished cleaning. The house was quiet and clean again, but it felt empty without their father. "I want to go to Dad's office," Maya said. Marcus nodded. They walked down the hallway to their father's home office. The door was closed. Marcus opened it carefully. Everything was exactly as their father had left it. His desk was organized with neat stacks of papers. His coffee mug still sat on a coaster. His reading glasses were folded next to his computer. Marcus sat in his father's leather chair. Maya sat in the smaller chair across from the desk. They looked around the room. Robert's college diploma hung on the wall. Photos of Marcus and Maya at different ages sat on the bookshelf. A photo of Angela in a silver frame had a place of honor on the desk. Maya opened one of the desk drawers. She was not looking for anything specific. She just needed to feel close to her father. Inside the drawer were pens, paper clips, sticky notes, and business cards. She picked up one of the business cards. It was for Mr. David Johnson, their father's lawyer. On the back of the card, there was a handwritten note in their father's writing. "Call me next week. Important." Maya showed the card to Marcus. He took it and read the note. The card was dated 1 week before their father died. "Dad wanted to talk to Mr. Johnson about something important," Marcus said slowly. "What do you think it was about?" Maya asked. Marcus looked at the note again. His father had written "important" with a capital Y and underlined it. "I don't know. Maybe about his business, or his will," Marcus said. "Do you think it was about Linda?" Maya asked quietly. Marcus thought about the argument he and Maya had heard 4 nights before their father died. Their father's angry voice, the fight that was so unusual because their father never fought with Linda. "Maybe Dad finally saw what she really is," Marcus said. "But it's too late now," Maya said. Tears ran down her face again. "He's gone, and she's going to inherit everything. She's going to throw us out." Marcus wanted to tell his sister that everything would be okay, but he did not know if that was true. He held the business card in his hand and stared at his father's handwriting. What had their father wanted to discuss with Mr. Johnson? What was so important that he wrote it down and underlined it? Marcus put the business card in his pocket. Maybe it meant nothing. Maybe it was just a business meeting. But something in his chest told him it was more than that. His father had been angry at Linda. His father had wanted to talk to his lawyer. His father had hugged them extra tight and told them he loved them. Had his father finally seen the truth about Linda? And if he had, what had he planned to do about it? They would never know. Their father was dead. And tomorrow they would have to figure out how to survive in this house with Linda, who no longer had any reason to pretend. 3 days after the funeral, Marcus woke up to loud footsteps outside his bedroom. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. He heard Linda's voice in the hallway. "Get up! Both of you, get up now!" Marcus opened his door. Linda was standing in the hallway wearing expensive workout clothes. Her arms were crossed. Her face was hard and cold. Maya opened her door across the hall. She was still in pajamas with her hair messy from sleep. "What's wrong?" Maya asked. "What's wrong is that you two are sleeping while this house is a disaster," Linda said. Her sweet voice was completely gone. This was her real voice, sharp and mean. "There are dishes in the sink. There is dust everywhere. You both need to start pulling your weight around here. We cleaned everything after the reception," Marcus said carefully. "Well, it is not clean enough," Linda said. She walked closer to them. "This is my house now. You are living under my roof. You will follow my rules. Do you understand?" Marcus and Maya looked at each other but said nothing. "I asked you a question," Linda said louder. "Do you understand?" "Yes," Marcus said quietly. "Good. I want the entire house cleaned today. Vacuum every room, clean all the bathrooms, do the laundry, and do not make any plans to go out," Linda said. She turned and walked downstairs. Maya's hands were shaking. She went into Marcus's room and closed the door. "She's not even pretending anymore," Maya whispered. "Dad is gone. She doesn't have to pretend," Marcus said. "What are we going to do?" Maya asked. "We survive, just like always. We have 3 months until college starts. We can survive 3 months," Marcus said. But his voice did not sound convinced. They went downstairs and ate breakfast in silence. Linda sat at the dining room table looking at her phone. She did not look at them or speak to them. After breakfast, Marcus and Maya spent the whole day cleaning the house even though it was already clean. At school the next day, Maya sat in the library during lunch. She tried to read but could not focus. Her friend Jennifer from history class sat down across from her. "Maya, are you okay? You've been gone for a week," Jennifer said. "My father died," Maya said. Jennifer's face changed. "Oh my God, Maya, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." "It's okay. Thank you," Maya said. She did not want to talk about it. "If you need anything, I'm here," Jennifer said. Maya nodded. Jennifer left to give her space. Maya was grateful. She did not have energy for sympathy or questions. After school, Marcus ran on the track. He pushed himself harder than usual. His lungs burned, his legs ached. But the physical pain was better than the emotional pain. Coach Williams blew the whistle. "Patterson, slow down! You're going to hurt yourself!" Coach Williams called out. Marcus did not slow down. He ran 2 more laps before finally stopping. He bent over with his hands on his knees, gasping for air. When Marcus and Maya got home that evening, Linda was sitting in the living room waiting for them. "Where have you been?" Linda demanded. "School, track practice," Marcus said. "I did not give you permission to do activities. You have chores here," Linda said. "We have school. We have to go to school," Maya said. "Do not talk back to me," Linda snapped. "Your father spoiled you, let you do whatever you wanted. Things are different now." She stood up and walked past them up the stairs. Marcus and Maya heard her go into the master bedroom and close the door. Over the next few days, Linda's cruelty increased. She went into their bedrooms while they were at school. She moved their belongings around. She went through their drawers and closets. One afternoon, Maya came home and immediately knew someone had been in her room. Her dresser drawers were slightly open. Her closet door was not closed all the way. She looked around carefully. The framed photo of her mother that always sat on her dresser was gone. Maya's heart started racing. She looked on the floor. She looked in the drawers. She looked under the bed. The photo was not there. She ran downstairs where Linda was sitting in the living room watching television. "Where is my mother's photo?" Maya demanded. Linda looked up slowly. "What are you talking about?" "The photo that was on my dresser, the one in the silver frame." "Where is it?" Maya said. Her voice was shaking. "I have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you lost it," Linda said. She turned back to the television. "I didn't lose it. It was on my dresser this morning. You took it," Maya said louder. "Are you calling me a liar?" Linda asked. She stood up and walked close to Maya. "You are just like your father, always making up stories about me, always trying to make me look bad." "You went through my room. You took my mother's photo," Maya shouted. Linda laughed. It was a cold, cruel sound. "Your precious mother. You and Marcus act like she was some kind of saint. She was just a woman who got sick and died. There was nothing special about her," Linda said. "You need to stop worshipping a dead woman and move on with your lives." Maya's hand moved before she could think. She slapped Linda across the face. The sound echoed in the quiet room. Linda's head turned from the force of the slap. A red mark appeared on her cheek. For several seconds, nobody moved. Maya's hand stung. She could not believe what she had just done. Linda slowly touched her face. Then she smiled. It was the most frightening smile Maya had ever seen. "You just made a very big mistake," Linda said quietly. "When the lawyer reads your father's will and I inherit everything, you and your brother are going to be out on the street. I am going to throw you out of this house and you will have nothing. Nothing. Do you hear me?" Marcus appeared in the doorway. He had just gotten home from track practice. He saw Maya crying and Linda's red cheek. "What happened?" Marcus asked. "Your sister just assaulted me," Linda said. She was still smiling. "But it doesn't matter. Soon you will both be gone. This house is mine. The money is mine. Everything your father built is mine. And you are nothing. You were always nothing. Just bastards who never deserved Robert's love." Marcus walked over and took Maya's arm. "Come on," he said. He pulled Maya away and they went upstairs to his room. Maya was shaking and crying. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I lost control," Maya said. "It's okay. She deserved it," Marcus said. "But now she's going to throw us out. We're going to lose everything, Maya cried. Marcus held his sister while she cried. He was scared too, but he could not show it. He had to be strong for Maya. That evening, they heard Linda on the phone in the living room. Her voice carried up the stairs. Yes, Mr. Johnson. I want to schedule the will reading as soon as possible. I want this settled. I want to move forward with my life. There was a pause while she listened. 1 week from today? That works perfectly. Yes, I'll be there. Thank you, Linda said. She hung up the phone. Marcus and Maya heard her climbing the stairs. She walked past Marcus's room and they heard her laughing softly to herself. She thinks she's won, Maya whispered. Maybe she has, Marcus said quietly. They both knew what would happen. Linda was Robert's wife. She would inherit everything, the house, the businesses, the money, all of it. And the first thing she would do is kick Marcus and Maya out. That night, after Linda went to bed, Marcus and Maya met in his room. They spoke in whispers. We need to prepare, Marcus said. After the will reading, she might throw us out immediately. We need to have a plan. Where will we go? Maya asked. I have $800 saved from my job at the library last summer. How much do you have? Marcus asked. About $600 from tutoring, Maya said. That's $1,400. It's not much, but we can find a cheap apartment. Share a place until college starts, Marcus said. They spent the next hour searching apartment listings on Marcus's laptop. Everything was expensive. Even the smallest studios cost more than they could afford. We'll figure it out, Marcus said, but he did not sound confident. For the next week, they secretly packed their most important belongings. Maya packed clothes, her mother's necklace, her poetry books, and a few photos. Marcus packed clothes, his journals, his laptop, and documents they might need. They hid the packed bags in the back of their closets. They went to school and came home and did their chores. They stayed out of Linda's way. Linda left them alone, counting down the days until the will reading. On the night before the meeting with Mr. Johnson, Maya came into Marcus's room. She sat on his bed and started crying. We're going to lose everything Dad built. Everything Mom left us, Maya said. At least we'll be free of her, Marcus said. Is that enough? Maya asked. Marcus did not have an answer. He held his sister's hand and they sat together in silence, preparing for the moment when they would lose everything their father had worked for and have to start over with nothing. The next morning, Marcus stood at the bathroom sink washing his face with cold water. His hands were still shaking. Today was the day they would lose everything. Maya knocked on the bathroom door. Are you almost ready? She asked through the door. Yeah, give me 1 minute, Marcus said. He dried his face and looked at himself in the mirror. He was wearing dark jeans and a simple black button-up shirt, the same shirt he wore to his father's funeral. Maya was waiting in the hallway wearing black pants and a plain black sweater. We look like we're going to another funeral, Maya said quietly. Maybe we are, Marcus replied. They heard Linda's heels clicking on the floor downstairs. She had been awake since 6 o'clock getting ready. Marcus and Maya went downstairs slowly. Linda was standing by the front door checking her appearance in the hall mirror. She was wearing a designer dress that Marcus had never seen before. It was black with a designer label visible on the sleeve. Diamond earrings sparkled in her ears. A thick gold bracelet hung on her wrist. She had bought all of it with their father's credit cards in the past 2 weeks. Linda saw them and smiled. It was not a kind smile. Ready to go? Linda asked cheerfully. She was happy. She thought today she would become rich and finally be rid of Marcus and Maya. They rode the L train downtown to the Loop District in silence. The train was crowded with people going to work. Marcus and Maya stood holding the rail while Linda sat in a seat scrolling through her phone. She was probably already planning what she would do with all the money. At 9:30 in the morning, they got off at the Clark and Lake Station. Mr. Johnson's office was in a tall glass building 3 blocks away. They rode the elevator to the 20th floor. The elevator walls were mirrors. Marcus could see Linda checking her appearance, adjusting her earrings, fixing her hair. The elevator doors opened. They walked down a carpeted hallway to a door with gold letters that read, Johnson and Associates Legal Services. Linda opened the door and walked in first. Marcus and Maya followed. The waiting room had leather chairs and a glass coffee table with magazines. A young woman sat at the reception desk. "Good morning. We're here for the Patterson will reading," Linda said in her sweet voice. "Yes, Mr. Johnson is expecting you. Please follow me," the receptionist said. She led them down another hallway to a large conference room. Windows covered one entire wall, showing a view of Lake Michigan in the distance. A long wooden table sat in the center with black leather chairs around it. "Please have a seat. Mr. Johnson will be with you shortly," the receptionist said. She left and closed the door. Linda sat on one side of the table. She placed her expensive purse on the chair next to her. Marcus and Maya sat across from her. They were separated by the wide table. Linda looked at them and smiled again. "Nervous?" Linda asked them. Neither twin answered. Marcus took Maya's hand under the table. Her palm was sweating. The door opened and Mr. Johnson entered. He was wearing a dark gray suit. He carried a leather briefcase. His face was serious. "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming," Mr. Johnson said. He sat at the head of the table and placed his briefcase in front of him. "Let's get started, shall we? I know you must be eager to—" Mr. Johnson began. Linda stood up suddenly. Her chair scraped loudly against the floor. "Before you start, I have something to say," Linda announced. She pointed her finger at Marcus and Maya. "I want it on record that these two have been disrespectful and cruel to me during this difficult time." Mr. Johnson folded his hands and looked at Linda. He did not interrupt her. "Robert wasted years of his life on these children," Linda continued. Her voice was getting louder. "They are not real Pattersons. They were never grateful for anything he did for them. They made his life difficult. They made my life a nightmare." Marcus felt Maya's hand squeeze his tighter. He kept his face calm and looked at the table. They had learned long ago not to react when Linda attacked them. "I want them to know right now that they will get nothing from this estate," Linda said. She was almost shouting now. "Nothing! Do you hear me? You are bastards who never deserved Robert's love or his money." Maya squeezed Marcus's hand 3 times. Their secret signal. "I love you." Marcus squeezed back 3 times. "You should leave Chicago and never come back," Linda said. She laughed. "Nobody wants you here. You have nothing. You are nothing." The room went silent. Linda was breathing hard. Her face was flushed. She had finally said everything she wanted to say for years. Mr. Johnson waited a few more seconds to make sure Linda was finished. Then he reached down and opened his briefcase. He pulled out a sealed manila envelope. "Please sit down, Mrs. Patterson," Mr. Johnson said. His voice was firm. Linda laughed and sat down. "Fine. Read the will so I can get my money and these two can leave." Mr. Johnson looked at the envelope for a long moment. Then he looked up at Linda. "There is something you need to know before we proceed," Mr. Johnson said slowly. "1 week before his death, Robert came to my office. He asked me to prepare a new will." Linda's smile began to fade. "What do you mean, a new will?" "I mean that the will we are reading today is not the will that was created when Robert married you 5 years ago. This is a new document that supersedes the old one," Mr. Johnson explained. "That's impossible. Robert would have told me," Linda said. Her voice was not as confident as before. "He specifically asked me not to tell you," Mr. Johnson said. He opened the envelope and pulled out several typed pages. "Shall I begin?" Linda nodded slowly. The color was draining from her face. Mr. Johnson adjusted his reading glasses and began to read out loud. "I, Robert James Patterson, being of sound mind and body, do hereby declare this to be my last will and testament, created on May 15, 2023, Mr. Johnson read. I hereby revoke all previous wills and codicils." Marcus felt his heart beating fast. A new will created 1 week before his father died. 1 week after the argument they heard through the walls. To my beloved children, Marcus James Patterson and Maya Angela Patterson, I leave 90% of my entire estate. Mr. Johnson continued reading. Maya gasped. Marcus stopped breathing. This includes all business holdings, all commercial and residential properties, all investment accounts, all savings accounts, and all personal assets, Mr. Johnson read. The current total value of 90% of my estate is approximately $10,800,000. The room was completely silent except for Mr. Johnson's voice. To my wife, Linda Morrison Patterson, I leave the family home located at 234 Oakwood Avenue in Lincoln Park, Chicago, Illinois. The current value of this property is approximately $1,200,000. Linda's face had gone from red to white. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. However, Mr. Johnson continued, there is one critical condition attached to Linda Morrison Patterson's inheritance. Linda found her voice. It came out as a whisper. What kind of condition? Mr. Johnson looked directly at Linda. From the moment this will is read, Linda Morrison Patterson must treat Marcus James Patterson and Maya Angela Patterson with kindness, respect, and dignity at all times. She may not insult them, threaten them, or speak negatively about their late mother, Angela Rose Patterson. If Linda Morrison Patterson violates this condition at any time, she will immediately forfeit all inheritance rights. The house will then transfer to Marcus and Maya Patterson along with the rest of the estate. Linda stood up so fast her chair fell backward. That's not legal! You can't do that! Linda shouted. Mr. Johnson held up his hand. Please sit down, Mrs. Patterson. There is more you need to see. Linda picked up her fallen chair and sat back down. Her hands were shaking. The confidence she had walked in with was completely gone. What else is there? Linda asked. Her voice was tight. Mr. Johnson reached across the table and picked up a small black remote control. He pointed it at the wall where a large screen hung. Your late husband was a very intelligent man, Mr. Johnson said. He understood human nature. He predicted exactly what would happen in this room today. What are you talking about? Linda demanded. Mr. Johnson pressed a button on the remote. The screen on the wall lit up. A video appeared. It showed this same conference room. The timestamp in the corner read 9:43, just 15 minutes ago. On the screen, Linda was standing and pointing at Marcus and Maya. Her face was twisted with anger and cruelty. I want it on record that these two have been disrespectful and cruel to me, video Linda said. Everyone in the room watched the recording. Marcus and Maya sat frozen. They watched Linda on the screen calling them bastards. They heard her say they were nothing. They heard her tell them to leave Chicago and never come back. They heard her laughing at them. The recording was clear. Every word was captured. The timestamp proved it happened after the will was read, after the condition was explained. Mr. Johnson paused the video. The screen froze on an image of Linda pointing and laughing. He turned to look at her. Robert asked me to record this meeting, Mr. Johnson said. He told me he had finally seen your true nature, Mrs. Patterson. He said that even after hearing the condition, you would not be able to control yourself. He said you would reveal exactly who you are. Linda's face had gone completely pale. She stared at the frozen image of herself on the screen. He was right, Mr. Johnson continued. You violated the condition of the will before you even knew the condition existed. You called Robert's children bastards. You told them they deserved nothing. You told them to leave Chicago. But I didn't know about the condition yet, Linda said desperately. You can't hold me to something I didn't know about. I read the condition out loud at 9:38, Mr. Johnson said, checking his notes. You began your speech at 9:41, 3 minutes later. You were clearly informed of the requirement to treat Marcus and Maya with respect. You violated it immediately. This is a trick. This is entrapment, Linda shouted. She turned to Marcus and Maya. You knew about this. You set me up. Marcus spoke for the first time since entering the office. His voice was calm and steady. We didn't know anything. "We thought we were going to lose everything today," Marcus said. "Our father protected us. He loved us after all. He protected us even after death," Maya added quietly. Linda stood up again. Her face was red now. She grabbed the edge of the table. "This will is not legal. Robert manipulated everything. He was sick. He wasn't thinking clearly," Linda said. Her voice was getting higher and more desperate. "Robert was completely sound of mind when he created this will," Mr. Johnson said firmly. "I was present. I witnessed his signature. I can testify to his mental state. The will is completely legal and binding." "I'll fight this in court. No judge will allow this to stand," Linda said. "You are welcome to try," Mr. Johnson said, "but I should inform you that the recording we just watched will be entered as evidence. Every lawyer in Chicago will see you calling those children bastards. They will hear you say they deserve nothing. Any judge will see that you violated the terms clearly and deliberately." Linda's hands were shaking. She looked around the room like a trapped animal. "Robert did this to punish me. This whole thing is revenge," Linda said. "No, Mrs. Patterson. Robert did this to protect his children from you," Mr. Johnson said. "He finally understood what you had been doing to them for 5 years. He saw your cruelty. He heard the things you said when he was not around. He realized his children had been telling him the truth all along." Linda turned to Marcus and Maya. She reached across the table toward them. "Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of those things. I was upset about Robert's death. I wasn't thinking clearly," Linda said. Her voice was suddenly sweet again. "Give me another chance. Let me prove I can be kind. Please." Maya looked at Linda's reaching hands. For 5 years, those hands had pointed at her in anger. Those hands had taken her mother's photos. Those hands had gripped her shoulders too tight when company was around. "No," Maya said simply. Linda turned to Marcus. "Please, Marcus, you're the reasonable one. Tell Mr. Johnson, this isn't fair. Tell him I deserve another chance." Marcus looked at Linda with steady, calm eyes. He was not afraid of her anymore. "You had 5 years of chances," Marcus said. "You chose to be cruel every single day. You chose to hurt us when our father wasn't watching. You chose to make our home feel like a prison." "But I can change. I will change," Linda begged. "The condition already has been violated," Mr. Johnson said. "According to the terms of Robert's will, you have forfeited all inheritance rights. The house now belongs to Marcus and Maya along with everything else." Linda's begging turned to anger in an instant. She stood up straight and glared at Mr. Johnson. "What do I get then? Nothing? I was his wife. I was married to him for 5 years," Linda demanded. "You will receive your personal belongings," Mr. Johnson said. "Items that you brought into the marriage or purchased with your own money before marrying Robert. Everything purchased with Robert's money or credit cards during the marriage remains part of the estate." Linda touched her diamond earrings, her gold bracelet, her designer dress, all purchased in the last 2 weeks with Robert's credit cards. "I have nothing then," Linda said. "You're taking everything from me." "You took everything from yourself," Maya said quietly. "You chose cruelty. Cruelty always has consequences." Linda grabbed her purse and turned toward the door. "I'll fight this. I'll find a lawyer who will help me. This isn't over," Linda said. "You are welcome to consult with legal counsel," Mr. Johnson said. "However, I should inform you that you have 30 days to vacate the Lincoln Park property. After 30 days, if you have not left, Marcus and Maya will have the legal right to remove you." Linda opened the door and looked back at them one more time. Her face showed hatred and defeat mixed together. "You think you've won," Linda said to the twins, "but you'll regret this, both of you." She walked out and slammed the door behind her. The sound echoed in the conference room. Then everything went quiet. Marcus and Maya sat in their chairs not moving. They were trying to process what just happened. They came here expecting to lose everything. Instead, they had just inherited millions of dollars and their family home. Mr. Johnson closed the will document and looked at them with kind eyes. "Are you two all right?" he asked gently. Maya started crying, not sad tears. She was not sure what kind of tears they were, relief maybe, or shock, or grief, or all of those things at once. Marcus put his arm around his sister. He felt tears coming to his own eyes finally. "Our father really did this?" Marcus asked Mr. Johnson. "He really protected us?" "He did," Mr. Johnson said. "He came to my office 3 weeks before he died. He told me he had been a blind, foolish man. He said he had failed you by not believing you about Linda. He wanted to make things right while he still could." "Did he know he was going to die?" Maya asked through her tears. "No, but he said something to me that stayed with me," Mr. Johnson said. "He said, 'I need to protect my children now, today, because we never know how much time we have.' 1 week later, he died. But he had already protected you." Marcus and Maya held each other and cried for their father. They cried because he had finally seen the truth. They cried because he had loved them enough to do something about it. They cried because he was gone, and they could never thank him. Mr. Johnson gave them tissues and waited patiently while they processed everything. "What happens now?" Marcus finally asked. "Now we begin the process of transferring the estate to both of you," Mr. Johnson said. Mr. Johnson opened a folder and pulled out several documents. He placed them on the table in front of Marcus and Maya. "The legal process will take approximately 60 days, Mr. Johnson explained. "I will work with the banks, the property managers, and the business accountants to transfer everything into your names." $10 million, Maya said quietly. She could not believe the number was real. "Actually, it is closer to 12 million now with the house included," Mr. Johnson said. "Your father was a very successful businessman. He invested wisely." Marcus stared at the documents without touching them. "We don't know how to manage that much money." "I understand. Your father anticipated that," Mr. Johnson said. "He asked me to arrange help for you. I have already contacted financial advisors and accountants who work with young people who inherit wealth. They will teach you how to invest responsibly and manage your money wisely." "Will the money come to us right away?" Marcus asked. "The money will be held in a trust until you both turn 21, Mr. Johnson explained. "However, you will have access to reasonable amounts for living expenses, education, and emergencies. When you turn 21 in 3 years, you will have complete control." Maya wiped her eyes with a tissue. "What about college? We got accepted to Northwestern, but we don't know how we'll pay for it now that Dad is gone." Mr. Johnson smiled. It was the first smile they had seen from him all morning. "Your father specifically addressed that in his will. Your complete education at Northwestern University will be paid for from the estate. Tuition, housing, books, meal plans, everything. You will never have to worry about student loans or working multiple jobs. You can focus entirely on your studies." Marcus felt his throat tighten. His father had thought of everything. Even in death, Robert Patterson was still taking care of his children. "There is one more thing," Mr. Johnson said. He reached into his briefcase and pulled out a white envelope. "Your father wrote you a letter. He gave it to me 3 weeks before he died. He asked me to give it to you after the will was read." He handed the envelope to Marcus. On the front, in their father's handwriting, it said, "To my beloved children, Marcus and Maya." Marcus held the envelope carefully. His hands were shaking again. "You can read it now or take it home. Whatever feels right," Mr. Johnson said gently. "Can we read it here? With you?" Maya asked. "Of course," Mr. Johnson said. Marcus opened the envelope slowly. Inside were 2 pages covered in their father's neat handwriting. The letter was dated May 15th, 1 week before Robert died. Marcus began reading out loud. "My dearest Marcus and Maya," Marcus read. His voice was shaking. "If you are reading this letter, then I am gone. I am so sorry I will not be there to see you graduate from college, start your careers, get married, and have families of your own. I wanted to be there for all of those moments." Maya started crying again. Marcus continued reading. "I need to tell you something important. I failed you. For 5 years, I was a blind, foolish man. You tried to tell me the truth about Linda. You told me she was cruel to you when I was not around. I did not believe you. I chose to believe her lies instead of trusting my own children." Marcus paused to wipe his own eyes. Mr. Johnson sat quietly, giving them space. "3 weeks ago, I finally saw the truth," Marcus continued reading. "I found text messages on Linda's phone. She was talking to her sister about how much she hated you both. I heard her speaking cruelly to Maya through a closed door. I watched how you both tensed when she entered a room. I realized you had been suffering for 5 years while I pretended everything was fine. I went to Mr. Johnson immediately. I asked him to help me protect you. I cannot undo 5 years of pain. I cannot give you back the childhood you deserved, but I can make sure you are safe and provided for after I am gone." Maya grabbed Marcus's hand. She needed to feel connected to her brother while hearing their father's words. "I want you to know that your mother Angela would be so proud of you both," Marcus read. "You have grown into strong, intelligent, dignified young people despite everything you endured. You protected each other. You survived with grace and strength. Use this inheritance to build good lives. Go to college, study what you love, help other people. Be kind to each other always. Remember that you are Patterson children. You come from love and strength." Marcus's voice broke completely. He took a breath and read the final lines. "I love you more than my own life. You are my greatest accomplishment. I am sorry I will not be there to watch you grow old. But I will be watching from wherever your mother and I end up. We will both be so proud of you. Your father who loves you always. Robert James Patterson." Marcus folded the letter carefully. He and Maya held each other and cried. These were different tears than before. They were grieving their father, but they were also grateful. He had seen the truth finally. He had protected them. He had loved them. Mr. Johnson waited until their crying slowed. He handed them more tissues. "Your father was a good man who made a mistake," Mr. Johnson said. "He spent his final weeks trying to fix that mistake. I hope this letter brings you some peace." "It does," Maya said. "I was so angry at him. I felt like he chose Linda over us. But he didn't. He just couldn't see clearly. And when he finally did see, he acted immediately." "We forgive him," Marcus said. "Completely." Mr. Johnson nodded. "I think he hoped you would." They spent another hour in the conference room. Mr. Johnson explained the legal documents they needed to sign. He gave them his business card and his personal cell phone number. He told them to call him any time, day or night, if they had questions or needed help. At 11:30 in the morning, Marcus and Maya left the office building. They stood on the sidewalk in downtown Chicago. People rushed past them going to lunch meetings and appointments. The city was busy and loud, but Marcus and Maya stood still in the middle of everything. "What do we do now?" Maya asked. "We go home," Marcus said. "To our home." They rode the L train back to Lincoln Park. The whole ride, they were silent. They were processing everything that happened in the last 2 hours. They had gone from having nothing to having $12 million. Their father had saved them from beyond the grave. When they arrived at the house, Linda's car was in the driveway. They hesitated at the front door. "She's still here," Maya said. "She has 30 days. We have to deal with her until she leaves," Marcus said. They opened the front door and went inside. The house was quiet. They walked toward their father's office and saw that the door was open. Linda was sitting in their father's chair behind his desk. Her makeup was smeared. Her eyes were red from crying. She looked up when they entered. "We need to talk," Linda said. Her voice was flat and tired. Marcus and Maya stood in the doorway. They did not sit down. "I went to 3 different lawyers this afternoon," Linda said. "I showed them the will. I showed them the recording. I explained everything." She stopped and looked down at her hands. "They all told me the same thing. The will is legal. The recording proves I violated the condition. I cannot win in court. No lawyer will take my case," Linda said. "So you're leaving?" Maya asked. "I have no choice," Linda said. "I have 30 days to move out. but I wanted to talk to you first." Marcus crossed his arms. "What do you want to say?" Linda took a breath. For the first time in 5 years, she looked small and defeated instead of powerful and cruel. "I want to try to explain why I did what I did," Linda said. "I am not asking you to forgive me. I just want you to understand." "We're listening," Marcus said carefully. Linda began talking. She told them about growing up poor in Detroit. She told them about feeling ashamed of her old clothes and small apartment. She told them about watching other kids have things she could never afford. She told them about deciding she would marry someone wealthy so she would never feel poor again. "I married your father for his money," Linda admitted. "Not for love. I wish I could say I loved him, but I didn't. I loved his lifestyle, his status, his wealth." Maya said nothing. Marcus waited for Linda to continue. "When I married Robert, I thought I would be the center of his life," Linda said. "But you two were his priority, always. He loved you more than he loved me. I was jealous. I resented you for taking his attention. I resented your mother because Robert still loved her memory more than he loved me. So you hurt us to make yourself feel better," Maya said quietly. "Yes," Linda said. "I am not proud of it. But yes, when I made you feel small, I felt bigger. When I made you feel unwanted, I felt more important." She looked up at them with red, tired eyes. "Sometimes I felt guilty," Linda admitted. "Sometimes I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I pushed those feelings away. I told myself you were disrespectful. I told myself you deserved my treatment. I created excuses instead of looking at my own heart." "Why are you telling us this now?" Marcus asked. "Because I lost everything," Linda said. "I have no money, no house, no husband. I have to find a job for the first time in 5 years. I have to live in a small apartment in a cheap neighborhood. I am going back to being poor. And I realize that all of this is my own fault." Linda stood up from the desk and walked around to face them directly. "I am not asking you to forgive me," Linda said. "I don't deserve forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I understand now. Cruelty does have consequences. You were right about that." Maya looked at Linda for a long moment. 5 years of pain, 5 years of cruel words and cold treatment. Could any explanation make that okay? "I don't forgive you," Maya said. "The wounds are too deep." Linda nodded. She had expected that answer. Marcus spoke next. His voice was calm and measured. "I don't forgive you either," Marcus said. "But I don't hate you. Hatred would hurt me more than it would hurt you. So I choose to let you go instead." Linda's eyes filled with tears, real tears this time. "That is more kindness than I deserve," Linda said. "Thank you." "When will you leave?" Maya asked. "I'll start packing tomorrow. I'll be out within 2 weeks," Linda said. She walked past them toward the door, then stopped. "Your father loved you both very much," Linda said without turning around. "I hope you build good lives with what he left you." Then she walked upstairs to pack her belongings. Marcus and Maya heard Linda's footsteps on the stairs. They heard her bedroom door close. They stood in the hallway, not knowing what to do next. "I need to sit down," Maya said. They walked to their father's office and went inside. Marcus sat in the leather chair behind the desk. Maya sat in the chair across from him where she had sat so many times doing homework while their father worked. Marcus pulled out the letter from his pocket. He had folded it carefully and kept it with him. He unfolded it now and read it again silently. Maya watched him. "Do you think Dad knew he was going to die?" Maya asked. "No, but I think he knew life is short. Mom died when she was only 38. He learned that you can lose someone at any moment," Marcus said. "I was so angry at him," Maya admitted. "When he died, I felt sad, but I also felt angry. I thought he chose Linda over us. I thought he didn't love us enough to protect us." "I felt the same way," Marcus said. "But he did protect us. He just took too long to see what was happening." Maya touched her mother's necklace. "Do you think Mom would have forgiven him?" Marcus thought about that. He remembered his mother. She was kind and patient. She always told them that everyone makes mistakes. Yeah, I think she would have, Marcus said. Mom used to say that love means forgiving people even when it's hard. I forgive him, Maya said. Completely. He made a terrible mistake, but he fixed it when he finally understood. That's what matters. I forgive him too, Marcus said. They sat in their father's office for a long time that afternoon. They talked about memories. They talked about their mother and father. They talked about the good years before Linda came into their lives. Remember when Dad used to make pancakes on Saturday mornings? Maya said. He always burned them, but he was so proud. Marcus smiled. It was the first real smile in weeks, and Mom would pretend they were delicious, even though they were black on the bottom. I miss them both so much, Maya said. Me too, Marcus replied. Over the next 2 weeks, Linda packed her belongings. She hired movers to take her furniture from the master bedroom. The furniture had belonged to her before the marriage. She packed her clothes, her shoes, her jewelry, everything that was truly hers. Marcus and Maya stayed out of her way. They went to school and came home late. When they were home, they stayed in their rooms or their father's office. Linda did not speak to them except to ask practical questions about the moving schedule. The movers will come on Thursday. They will make noise, Linda said one evening at dinner. It was strange sitting at the dining table together. They had not shared a meal since before the will reading. That's fine, Marcus said. I found an apartment in Lakeview. It's small, but it's what I can afford, Linda said. She was not cruel anymore, just tired and defeated. Maya did not respond. She had nothing to say to Linda. On Thursday morning, 2 movers arrived with a truck. They carried boxes and furniture down the stairs and out the front door. Marcus watched from the window of his room. He saw Linda's bed, her dresser, her chairs being loaded into the truck. Piece by piece, Linda was leaving their lives. By Friday afternoon, most of Linda's belongings were gone. The master bedroom was nearly empty. On Saturday morning, Linda packed the last of her personal items into her car. 3 suitcases and 4 boxes. That was all she had left. Marcus and Maya stood in the front hallway watching her. Linda carried the last box to her car and came back inside one final time. She stood in the doorway looking at the house. This house where she had lived for 5 years. This house she thought would be hers forever. I guess this is goodbye, Linda said. Goodbye, Maya said simply. Linda looked at Marcus. Take care of each other. We always have, Marcus replied. Linda nodded. She walked out the front door and got into her car. Marcus and Maya stood in the doorway and watched her drive away. Her car turned the corner and disappeared. She's really gone, Maya said. It's really over, Marcus said. No, Maya said. She turned to look at her brother. It's really beginning. They closed the front door and stood in the quiet house. Their house now. Marcus took Maya's hand and they walked through every room together. They walked through the living room where they used to watch movies with their father. They walked through the dining room where they suffered through so many terrible dinners with Linda. They walked through the kitchen where their mother used to bake cookies and teach Maya recipes. They went upstairs and looked in the master bedroom. It was empty except for the bed frame and curtains that came with the house. All traces of Linda were gone. We should turn this into something else, Maya said. I don't want to remember her here. We can make it a library or a study room, whatever you want, Marcus said. They walked down the hall to their father's office. Everything was still exactly as he left it. His desk calendar, his coffee mug, his reading glasses, his photos of Angela, Marcus, and Maya on the bookshelf. We should keep this room exactly the same, Maya said. Like a memory, Marcus agreed. That weekend, Marcus and Maya started removing the last traces of Linda from the house. They took down the expensive artwork Linda had bought. They removed decorative items that Linda had chosen. They found photos of their mother Angela that Linda had hidden in closets and storage boxes. They hung the photos of Angela throughout the house. Angela in her wedding dress smiling at the camera. Angela holding newborn twins in the hospital. Angela in the kitchen teaching Maya how to crack eggs. Angela and Robert dancing at a family wedding. They also hung photos of their father, Robert at his first restaurant opening, Robert with Marcus and Maya at their middle school graduation, Robert laughing at a joke, Robert looking proud and happy. The house began to feel different, warmer, more like home. On Sunday evening, they ordered pizza and ate it in their father's office. They sat on the floor with the pizza box between them. "What do we do now?" Maya asked. "We have $12 million. We have this house. We don't have to work. We could do anything." Marcus thought about that. "We finish high school. We go to Northwestern like we planned. We study hard." "And after that?" Maya asked. "I don't know yet. But I know one thing. I want to use this money to help people," Marcus said. "What kind of people?" Maya asked. "Kids like us. Kids who are suffering and nobody believes them. Kids who need help but don't know where to find it," Marcus said. Maya nodded slowly. "Like a foundation or something?" "Maybe. We have time to figure it out. We're only 18. But yeah, something like that," Marcus said. They finished their pizza and cleaned up. That night, Marcus lay in his bed thinking about the future. For 5 years, he had only thought about surviving, getting through each day, making it to college, escaping. Now he could think bigger. He could think about what kind of life he wanted to build, what kind of person he wanted to become. Across the hall, Maya was thinking similar thoughts. She touched her mother's necklace and thought about how Angela had always wanted to help people. Angela had volunteered at hospitals and churches. She had made meals for sick neighbors. She had been kind to everyone. Maya wanted to honor that memory. She wanted to take the pain Linda caused and turn it into something good. She did not know exactly how yet, but she had time to figure it out. The next morning, Marcus woke up early. He got out of bed and walked downstairs. He made coffee in the kitchen. He did not have to sneak out before Linda woke up. He did not have to be quiet. He could make noise. He could turn on lights. This was his home now. Maya came downstairs in pajamas and slippers. She looked relaxed and peaceful in a way Marcus had not seen in years. "Morning," Maya said. "Morning," Marcus replied. He poured her a cup of coffee. They sat at the kitchen table drinking coffee as the sun came up. It was Monday morning. They had to go to school. In 2 weeks, they would graduate from high school. After that, summer, then college. "I'm not scared anymore," Maya said suddenly. Marcus looked at his sister. "Scared of what?" "Scared of everything. Scared of Linda. Scared of losing our home. Scared that nobody would believe us or help us," Maya said. "I'm not scared anymore because Dad made sure we're safe." "Me too," Marcus said. "I feel like I can breathe for the first time in 5 years." They finished their coffee and got ready for school. But this morning was different from every morning for the past 5 years. They did not have to sneak out. They did not have to avoid Linda. They walked out the front door of their home knowing they could come back without fear. On the L train, Maya smiled at Marcus. "What?" Marcus asked. "I'm just happy," Maya said. "Is that weird? Dad just died and we went through something terrible. But I'm happy." "It's not weird," Marcus said. "Dad would want us to be happy. Mom would want us to be happy. That's why they protected us, so we could have good lives." At school, Mrs. Alvarez stopped Marcus in the hallway. "Marcus, I heard about your father. I'm so sorry," she said. "Thank you," Marcus said. "Are you okay? Do you need extra time on assignments?" Mrs. Alvarez asked. "No, I'm okay. Actually, I'm better than okay," Marcus said. "I'm going to be fine." Mrs. Alvarez smiled. "I'm glad to hear that. You're a strong young man, Marcus." After school, Marcus did not run on the track. Instead, he went to the public library on Michigan Avenue and met Maya. They sat together at their usual table and did homework. But today they were not doing homework to avoid going home. They were doing homework because they wanted to do well, because they had futures to build. At 5 o'clock, they rode the train back to Lincoln Park. They walked to their house and opened the front door. The house smelled like the candles Maya had lit that morning. Photos of their parents smiled at them from the walls. "I'm home," Maya said softly. "We're home," Marcus corrected. And for the first time in 5 years, that was completely true. 2 weeks later, Marcus stood on the stage at Lincoln Park High School wearing a blue graduation gown and cap. He held his diploma in his hands. The auditorium was full of families cheering and taking photos. Marcus looked out at the crowd and saw Mr. Johnson sitting in the third row. The lawyer had become like family to them in the past month. He was smiling and clapping. Maya walked across the stage next. Her name was called and she received her diploma. She smiled wide. When she returned to her seat next to Marcus, they grabbed each other's hands. "We did it," Maya whispered. "We made it," Marcus replied. After the ceremony, Mr. Johnson met them outside the auditorium. He hugged them both. "Your parents would be so proud," Mr. Johnson said. "Both of them." "Thank you for coming," Maya said. "It means a lot that you're here." "I wouldn't miss it," Mr. Johnson said. "I have something for you." He handed them each a wrapped gift. Marcus and Maya opened them carefully. Inside were leather-bound journals with their initials engraved on the front. "Your father used to keep journals," Mr. Johnson said. "He wrote down his thoughts and his goals. I thought you might want to do the same as you start this new chapter." Marcus ran his fingers over the smooth leather. "Thank you. This is perfect." That summer, Marcus and Maya did not take a vacation or buy expensive things with their inheritance. Instead, they spent their days researching non-profit organizations. They met with people who ran foundations. They learned about helping young people who were dealing with difficult family situations. They sat at the dining room table with their laptops open and notebooks spread out. "We should focus on teenagers," Maya said. "Kids between 13 and 18. That's when we needed help the most." "What kind of help do we offer?" Marcus asked. "Counseling, support groups, a hotline they can call when things are bad at home," Maya said, "and emergency housing for kids who need to get out of dangerous situations." Marcus wrote notes in his journal. "We'll need therapists and social workers, people who understand what these kids are going through. And it needs to be free. Not all kids have money or insurance," Maya said. They worked on their plans all summer. In late July, they met with Mr. Johnson to discuss creating the foundation legally. They sat in his office on the 20th floor overlooking Lake Michigan. "Have you decided on a name?" Mr. Johnson asked. "The Angela Patterson Foundation," Maya said immediately. "After our mother." Mr. Johnson smiled. "That's beautiful. Your mother would be honored." "She always helped people," Marcus explained. "She volunteered and she was kind to everyone. We want to honor her memory by helping kids who are suffering." Mr. Johnson helped them file the legal documents to create a non-profit organization. He helped them set up bank accounts and hire their first employees. By the end of August, the Angela Patterson Foundation officially existed. In early September, Marcus and Maya moved into their dorm rooms at Northwestern University. The campus was beautiful with old buildings and green spaces near Lake Michigan. Marcus was studying business administration. Maya was studying psychology. They were busy with classes and homework, but they also worked at the foundation part-time. They had rented a small office space in downtown Chicago. They hired 2 therapists and 1 social worker. They set up a phone hotline that teenagers could call for help. In their first month, they received 15 calls. By the end of their first year at Northwestern, they had helped over 50 young people. Some needed counseling, some needed advice. 3 teenagers needed emergency housing to escape dangerous homes. Marcus and Maya poured their inheritance money into the foundation. They paid the therapists well. They rented apartments where teenagers could stay temporarily. They created support groups where young people could talk about their experiences without judgment. One Saturday afternoon in their second year of college, Marcus and Maya were at the foundation office. A teenage girl came in for her appointment. Her name was Jessica. She was 15 years old with curly brown hair and nervous eyes. Maya met with Jessica in the counseling room while Marcus worked on paperwork in the office. An hour later, Jessica came out. She looked calmer than when she arrived. "Thank you, Miss Maya," Jessica said. "This place saved my life. I mean that literally." "I'm glad we could help," Maya said gently. "My stepdad he was really bad. I called your hotline 6 months ago. You guys helped me get out. You found me a safe place to stay. You helped me finish school," Jessica said. Tears filled her eyes. "Nobody else believed me, but you did." Maya hugged Jessica. She felt tears coming to her own eyes. "We believed you because we've been there," Maya said. "My brother and I, we understand what it's like when nobody listens." After Jessica left, Maya went to Marcus's office. He looked up from his computer. "You okay?" Marcus asked. "That girl just told me we saved her life," Maya said. She sat down in the chair across from his desk. "This is why we're doing this. This is what Dad's money is for." "Mom and Dad would both be proud," Marcus said. By their 3rd year at Northwestern, the Angela Patterson Foundation had helped over 200 young people in Chicago. The foundation had grown. They now had 5 therapists, 3 social workers, and 4 emergency housing apartments. Marcus and Maya were also excelling in their studies. Marcus maintained a 4.0 grade point average in his business classes. Maya had the same perfect grades in psychology. They were both on track to graduate with honors. In May, 3 years after their father's death and 3 years after that terrible will reading, Marcus and Maya prepared for their college graduation. They stood in their dorm rooms packing their belongings. Maya came to Marcus's room carrying a photo album. "Look what I found," Maya said. She opened the album. Inside were photos from their childhood, Angela and Robert smiling at their wedding, baby photos of the twins, family vacations and birthday parties, all the happy moments before cancer took their mother and before Linda entered their lives. "We had good years," Marcus said. "Before everything went bad, we had love." "We have love now too," Maya said. "We have each other. We have this foundation. We have good lives." On graduation day, Marcus and Maya wore their caps and gowns. They stood with hundreds of other students waiting to walk across the stage. The ceremony was held outside in a large stadium. Families filled the seats. Marcus walked across the stage first. "Marcus James Patterson, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, summa cum laude." The announcer called Maya's name minutes later. "Maya Angela Patterson, Bachelor of Science in Psychology, summa cum laude." They found each other after the ceremony. They hugged tightly. Mr. Johnson appeared through the crowd. He had tears in his eyes. "I am so incredibly proud of you both," Mr. Johnson said. "Your father would be beaming right now." "Thank you for everything you've done for us," Marcus said. "You've been more than a lawyer. You've been family." "It has been my honor," Mr. Johnson said. They went to lunch at a restaurant near campus. Mr. Johnson told them stories about their father from years ago. Stories about Robert's first business deals and his dreams for his children. "Your father used to tell me, 'My kids are going to change the world,'" Mr. Johnson said. "He was right. Look at what you've built. The foundation has helped hundreds of young people. You took your pain and turned it into purpose." "That's what Mom would have wanted," Maya said. "She always said we should use our experiences to help others." After lunch, Marcus and Maya drove back to the Lincoln Park house. Their house. It had been their true home for 3 years now. Every room held good memories now instead of painful ones. They walked through the house together. The living room where they watched movies. The kitchen where they cooked meals together. Their father's office where they still sat when they needed to feel close to him. "Should we read Dad's letter again?" Maya asked. Marcus went to the desk drawer where they kept the letter safely stored. He pulled it out and they read it together for the 100th time. "Use this inheritance to build good lives," Marcus read from the letter. "Go to college, study what you love, help other people, be kind to each other always." "We did everything he asked," Maya said. "We went to college, we studied hard, we're helping people through the foundation, and we've always been kind to each other." We kept our promise to him, Marcus agreed. That evening they sat on the front porch watching the sunset. The sky turned orange and pink over Chicago. Maya leaned her head on Marcus's shoulder. "Do you ever think about Linda?" Maya asked. "Sometimes," Marcus said. "I wonder if she's okay. If she learned anything." "I hope she did," Maya said. "I hope she became a better person." "We became better people because of what happened," Marcus said. "Not because of her, but because we chose not to let her cruelty make us cruel." "Dad's will taught us something important," Maya said. "Cruelty has consequences, but kindness has rewards. We chose kindness." Marcus squeezed Maya's hand 3 times, their signal. "I love you." Maya squeezed back 3 times. They sat together as the sun went down. They had survived 5 years of Linda's cruelty. They had survived losing their father. They had survived grief and fear and uncertainty. But they did more than survive. They had graduated from college with perfect grades. They had created a foundation that helped hundreds of young people. They had turned their pain into something good. "Our story isn't about revenge," Maya said quietly. "No, it's about healing," Marcus said, "and justice, and the bond between family." "Dad and Mom are proud of us," Maya said. "I know they are," Marcus replied. As darkness fell over Chicago, Marcus and Maya went inside their home. Tomorrow they would go to the foundation office. Tomorrow they would help more teenagers who needed support. Tomorrow they would continue building their lives. But tonight, they sat in their father's office looking at photos of their parents. They thought about the journey from pain to peace. They thought about how love protects, even from beyond the grave. Their story was not over. It was just beginning. The next morning, Marcus woke up early and went for a run through Lincoln Park. The neighborhood was quiet at 6 o'clock in the morning. He ran past the lake and through the streets where he and Maya used to walk to school. Everything looked different now, brighter somehow. When he returned home, Maya was already in the kitchen making coffee. She was wearing jeans and a Northwestern sweatshirt. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail. "Big day today," Maya said, handing Marcus a cup of coffee. "The biggest yet," Marcus agreed. Today they were hosting an open house at the Angela Patterson Foundation. They had moved to a larger office space 6 months ago. The foundation had grown beyond anything they had imagined. They now had 10 therapists, 6 social workers, and 8 emergency housing apartments across Chicago. At 9 o'clock, Marcus and Maya arrived at the foundation office in downtown Chicago. The space was bright and welcoming. Comfortable chairs filled the waiting room. Artwork created by the teenagers they helped hung on the walls. A large photo of Angela Patterson smiled from behind the reception desk. Sarah Chen, their office manager, was already there preparing for the open house. "The caterers will arrive at 10. The guests start arriving at 11, Sarah said, checking her clipboard. "Is everything ready?" Maya asked. "Everything is perfect," Sarah assured her. Over the past 3 years since graduating from Northwestern, Marcus and Maya had poured themselves into the foundation. Marcus had started graduate school studying for his MBA. Maya was in a clinical psychology program, but they both worked at the foundation 20 hours per week. The foundation had helped over 300 young people now. Some just needed someone to talk to. Others needed intensive counseling. Some needed emergency housing to escape dangerous homes. The foundation provided all of it for free. Marcus walked through the office checking each room. The counseling rooms were private and comfortable. The group therapy room had a circle of chairs and boxes of tissues. The emergency phone line desk was staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At 11 o'clock, guests started arriving for the open house. Donors who supported the foundation financially. City council members who wanted to learn about their work. Therapists and social workers from other organizations. And most importantly, teenagers and young adults who had been helped by the foundation. Marcus stood near the entrance greeting people. An older couple approached him. "Are you Marcus Patterson?" the woman asked. "Yes, ma'am," Marcus said. I'm Patricia Williams. This is my husband, Donald. We heard about your foundation from our church. We want to help, Patricia said. Any help is appreciated, Marcus said. Can I give you a tour? He showed them around the office, explaining each program the foundation offered. Patricia and Donald listened carefully, asking thoughtful questions. My granddaughter went through something similar, Patricia said quietly. Her stepfather was cruel to her. Nobody believed her. I wish this place had existed back then. I'm sorry she went through that, Marcus said. She's okay now, but it took years. What you're doing here, helping kids when they need it most, this is important work, Patricia said. Across the room, Maya was talking to a group of teenagers who had been through the foundation's programs. One girl, Jessica, was sharing her story with others. I called the hotline 2 years ago, Jessica was saying. I was 15 and living with my mom and stepdad. My stepdad was awful to me. He called me names. He told me I was worthless. My mom didn't do anything to stop him. The other teenagers nodded. They understood. I found the foundation's number online. I called late at night when nobody could hear me. A counselor answered and she believed me immediately. She didn't question me or tell me I was overreacting. She just believed me, Jessica continued. Maya listened with tears in her eyes. The foundation helped me move into emergency housing. They helped me finish high school. They gave me counseling so I could deal with everything that happened. I'm 19 now and I'm in college. I'm okay. Because of this place, I'm okay, Jessica said. After she finished, Jessica walked over to Maya. Thank you for creating this foundation, Jessica said. You saved my life. I mean that literally. I don't know where I would be without this place. Maya hugged Jessica tightly. You saved yourself. We just gave you the tools. No, you gave me hope. You showed me that someone cared. That made all the difference, Jessica said. Marcus joined them. Jessica turned to him. Your foundation helped me. Now I want to help other kids. I'm studying social work in college. I want to work here someday, Jessica said. We would be honored to have you, Marcus said. At 2 o'clock, Maya stood at the front of the room to give a speech. Everyone gathered around to listen. Marcus stood in the back watching his sister with pride. Thank you all for coming today, Maya began. 3 years ago, my brother and I started this foundation with a simple goal. We wanted to help teenagers who were suffering in silence. Teenagers who needed someone to believe them. Teenagers who needed a safe place to go. The room was quiet. Everyone listened. My brother and I know what it feels like when the adults who should protect you don't. We know what it feels like to be hurt by someone in your own home. We know what it feels like when nobody believes you, Maya said. Her voice was strong and clear. We created this foundation in memory of our mother, Angela Patterson. She taught us to be kind even when others are cruel. She taught us to help people even when it's hard. She taught us that love is stronger than hate. Maya paused and looked at Marcus. He nodded encouragement. In the past 3 years, we have helped over 300 young people. We provided free counseling to 250 teenagers. We gave emergency housing to 45 young people who needed to leave dangerous homes. We answered over 2,000 calls on our hotline from kids who just needed someone to listen. Maya continued. People in the room started clapping. Maya waited for them to quiet down. But we're not done. There are more kids who need help. More teenagers who are suffering right now. We're expanding our services. We're hiring more counselors. We're opening more emergency housing. Because every child deserves to be safe. Every child deserves to be believed. Every child deserves a chance to heal. Maya finished. The room erupted in applause. Marcus felt his throat tighten with emotion. His sister was incredible, strong and compassionate and brave. After the speeches and tours ended, after the guests left and the caterers cleaned up, Marcus and Maya sat alone in the foundation office. They were exhausted, but happy. Today was good, Marcus said. Today was perfect, Maya agreed. Did you see how many people want to donate? We can expand even more. Jessica wants to work here after she finishes college, Marcus said. I know, that made me cry, Maya said. We helped her and now she wants to help others. That's exactly what we hoped would happen." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. "Do you remember that night after the will reading?" Marcus asked. "When we thought we were going to lose everything?" "Of course," Maya said. "I was so scared. I didn't know how we were going to survive," Marcus admitted. "But we did survive. We did more than survive. We built something beautiful from something painful," Maya said. Marcus nodded. "Dad would be proud. Mom, too." "I know they are," Maya said. "Wherever they are, they're watching and they're proud." They locked up the office and drove back to Lincoln Park. When they arrived home, they went straight to their father's office. The room was exactly as Robert had left it 6 years ago. His calendar still sat on the desk. His coffee mug still rested on its coaster. His reading glasses were folded next to his computer. Marcus and Maya had kept this room as a memorial, a place to remember their father and feel close to him. They sat in the chairs where they had sat so many times before. Maya pulled out the letter their father had written. The paper was worn soft from being read hundreds of times. "Should we read it again?" Maya asked. "Yes," Marcus said. Maya read it out loud this time. Her voice was gentle as she spoke their father's words. When she reached the end, they both had tears in their eyes. "We did everything he asked us to do," Marcus said. "We used the inheritance to build good lives. We help other people. We're kind to each other always. And we honored Mom's memory with the foundation," Maya added. Marcus stood up and walked to the window. He looked out at Chicago, the city where they were born, the city where they suffered, the city where they healed. "We learned something important," Marcus said. "Cruelty can be defeated without becoming cruel yourself. We could have turned bitter and angry. We could have used our money for revenge or to hurt Linda. But we didn't. We chose healing instead," Maya said. "We chose to help people instead of hurting them," Marcus continued. "That's what makes us different from Linda. She chose cruelty. We chose kindness." Maya joined her brother at the window. They stood side by side looking out at the city lights beginning to glow as evening approached. "Do you ever wonder what happened to Linda?" Maya asked. "Sometimes. I hope she's okay. I hope she learned something," Marcus said. "I forgave her," Maya said suddenly. "Not for her sake, for mine. I was carrying around anger and it was hurting me, so I let it go." "I forgave her too," Marcus said. "And I forgave Dad for not protecting us sooner. And I forgave myself for not being able to fix everything." They moved to the front porch and sat on the porch swing as the sun set. The sky turned deep orange and purple. "Our story is not about revenge," Maya said. "It never was. It's about justice," Marcus said. "Dad made sure we got justice." "It's about healing," Maya added. "We turned our pain into purpose." "It's about the unbreakable bond between family," Marcus said. "You and me, Mom and Dad. We're connected by love that doesn't end, even when people die." Maya squeezed Marcus's hand 3 times. "I love you." Marcus squeezed back 3 times. They sat together as darkness fell over Chicago. Somewhere in the city, a teenager was picking up the phone to call the foundation hotline. Somewhere, a young person was walking into one of their emergency housing apartments and feeling safe for the first time in years. Somewhere, a kid was sitting in a counseling session learning that what happened to them was not their fault. Marcus and Maya had taken their father's inheritance and turned it into hope for hundreds of young people. They had taken their mother's legacy of kindness and built it into something that would help generations to come. "We made it," Maya whispered. "We really did," Marcus replied. And sitting together on the porch of the home that was truly theirs, Marcus and Maya Patterson understood that their story was about something bigger than money or revenge or even justice. It was about the power of love to protect and heal. It was about turning suffering into service. It was about choosing dignity over cruelty, kindness over hatred, and hope over despair. Their parents would always be with them. Angela's kindness lived on through the foundation. Robert's love protected them even from beyond the grave. They had survived. They had healed. They had forgiven. And they had built something beautiful. The journey was not over. There would be more teenagers to help, more lives to touch, more healing to do. But Marcus and Maya were ready. They would face it together, as they always had. The story of Marcus and Maya Patterson was not about revenge. It was about love, justice, and the unbreakable bond of family. And that story would continue, spreading hope through Chicago and beyond for years to come. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen.
Hey, Thrive Sphere family. If these stories resonate with you and inspire you to believe in the power of resilience and justice, we need your support to keep the momentum going. Hit the subscribe button, join our sphere, and make sure you never miss another empowering story. Like and share. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button and share this message of hope and accountability with your network. Turn on notifications. Don't waste time. Click the notification bell so you're always the first to know when a new story drops. Your support helps us continue sharing narratives that spark dialogue, push for change, and show the true meaning of thriving against the odds. Let's keep the conversation going. Subscribe to Thrive Sphere today.